Hi everyone, I'm Mike Green, Public Information Officer in the Allen County Commissioner's Office, and welcome to Countyline, the program featuring news and information about Allen County government. It was 40 years ago that leaders in Allen County and the city of Fort Wayne decided their respective government administrative offices should be headquartered in the same building, and so was constructed here at 1 East Main Street, the City County Building, and it has served that purpose for the past 40 years. Fast forward now to June of 2009. Mayor Tom Henry at that time announced the intention of the city to purchase the former Renaissance Square building, which is located at 200 East Berry Street, and use that for the purpose of a city hall for Fort Wayne, as well as a new headquarters for the city police department. Well, after a couple of years of discussions and negotiations that were started by the Allen County Board of Commissioners, a decision was made that city and county government offices should remain co-located in one building, and that would be over at 200 East Berry Street, which is now known as Citizen Square. And this building would be transformed into another purpose. Now, there are still some county government offices located here. On the first floor, we have the auditor, the treasurer, and the recorder, and on the fourth floor, the county assessor. But this building will now primarily be used as a headquarters for city and county public safety agencies. Fort Wayne Police Department has moved from its former location into this building. Also, the Fort Wayne Fire Department administrative offices, and soon the Allen County Sheriff's Department will relocate its division and staff that have been headquartered at the Kidder Building off Lima Road. Along with this new mission for the building comes a new name. This facility will now be known as the Rousseau Center, named after the longtime public servant in Allen County and city of Fort Wayne, Ed Rousseau, whose political career, as a matter of fact, happened to span 40 years. Now, on April 23rd, dedication ceremonies were held at this building to recognize its new mission as well as its new name. And now here are some highlights from that dedication ceremony.
Ed Rousseau, who at the time was a city councilman, and other city and county leaders, according to this original city-county building dedication booklet, had a vision for city and county government which, I quote, amounted to putting aside many of the concepts of the past and a willingness to face the future with united, confident, and positive thinking, end of quote. That's the exact sentiment that's gotten us to where we are today. After the dedication of September 17th, 1971, the two governments cohabitated in the very building, in this very building, for close to 40 years. In June of 2009, however, Mayor Tom Henry announced a proposal to purchase the Renaissance building for use as a city hall. Faced with the prospects of having two separate buildings to serve city and county residents, the county commissioners responded with a request to examine placing city and county police and fire in one building and administrative offices in another. From about November 2009 to May of 2010, members of city and county councils, as well as the mayor and the commissioners, formally met for purposes of working toward an agreement to more effectively continue the 40-year relationship. In June of 2010, agreement was reached to locate civilian offices in what is now Citizen Square and city and county police right here in the Rousseau Center. So, today we begin the next chapter in city-county relations, one I'm sure Ed Rousseau would be proud of. One, as city and county leaders of the 60s noted, will allow us to bring a better tomorrow to Fort Wayne and Allen County.
Completing a project of this size requires patience, dedication, and teamwork. Of these three, teamwork may be the most important, and we had a great team working on this project. It started 2 years ago with the hiring of our architects from the Design Collaborative and our construction managers from WA Sheets & Sons. Since that time, we've added to our team abatement engineers from ACM Engineering and Environmental Services, our contractors on the project, Advanced Mechanical Systems, Environmental Management Specialists, Fetters Construction, Innovation Control Systems, Jack Lorry Commercial Floors, LA Electric, Rosema Construction, and Strom Group. The Commissioners thank all of you for your hard work on this project. We also had a great internal team. Chris Cloud with the Commissioner's Office and Dan Freck, Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds, provided our internal leadership the last 2 years with a big hand from Brad Corman and Troy Hirschberger from the Allen County Sheriff's Department, Carl Niblick and Melanie Hickman from the City Fort Wayne Police Department, and Angie Erpeling, I'm saying that wrong, I know I am, from the Fort Wayne Fire Department, and as well as Tony Burris from the Safety and Environmental Division of the Allen County Department. Off the cuff, I would have to say as well, I think a little more than just a mere mention, but Chris Cloud, had it not been for his due diligence and intensity of keeping everybody focused, and that includes the 3 commissioners, we would not be standing here today, so thank you, Chris. I would also be remiss not to thank the city and county employees who worked in the Rousseau Center throughout its construction. It was loud, sometimes smelly, and never normal. On behalf of the commissioners, we thank you so much for your patience. And finally, the Board of Commissioners would like to thank the Allen County Council, the Fort Wayne County City Council, and Mayor Tom Henry for making the tough decisions, both politically and financially, in 2010 to move forward with the renovations of Citizen Square and the Rousseau Center to better serve our citizens.
Ed's dedication to the citizens of Fort Wayne and Allen County was impressive, and still is. And naming this building after him, I think, is an outstanding tribute to his years of service. It represents a solution to a long-standing issue of space use and service to the public. I'm delighted to see that our police department, the sheriff's department, 911 is currently going to be housed in this building. It, along with the co-location at Citizen Square and the consolidation of the 911 operations, clearly sends the message that we are all one community. Having 2 uniquely positioned buildings in the heart of our community that bring nearly all local government together makes local government more accessible, more efficient, and more cost-effective. Something that civic leaders like Ed strove to achieve. Fort Wayne and Allen County are one community, and by working together, we are now charting a new course.
For me to talk about Big Ed, and I really don't have any notes for this, this is just going to be a Linda from the heart. He loved first his God, and then his family and his friends. And then he loved politics. He was always there to share interesting stories about what he had achieved or not achieved, and to give us all advice. He finally got to the point with me where he said, "Hell, you know how to do this, just do it." He wanted at one particular time, and he told me this and said, "You may be the only one that I tell this to, but if you're ever going to name anything after me, I want a bridge, and I'll tell you what bridge it is." Well, quite a long time ago, that particular bridge was picked to be named for someone else. And when I told him about it and said the group had a plaque, they were ready to do it, he said, "Well, I'm not going." He said, "That guy's my friend. I went to school with him, but I'm never going to speak to him again." And I said, "Now, Big Ed, you got to straighten up. I mean, he got there first." And he said, "But he's still alive." It was just a cute story, and I remember it vividly. Another thing he'd say to me is, "Be quiet and just listen and take my advice every day." He took me at the very beginning of my commissioner career because he said, you were treasurer, you were auditor, and you didn't know it all. Being a commissioner, you do know it all. And we're going to take you out to the airport to meet with an NDOT director who was leaving the job, going to a new job in 2 weeks. Came in with his helicopter and his accountant, and Jack and Ed knew what this was all about, and we had a highway director with us, and we had a lawyer with us, and they took us in this little room and they said, we're not going to be able to get this job done. You know this is a county road and we just can't give you the money. And the most, if we could and would be 50%. Of course, I had heard numbers larger than that and didn't know all the rules yet, so I said 50%. Now I got one of them kicking me under the table and Ed grabbing my wrist. And I think, uh-oh. And he said, just don't say anything, just listen. And I said, do you think that's fair? I said, we're talking about the airport. People can't find the airport. I said, we've got all these names. I said, we need an airport expressway. County, city, road, what the heck? We need a road to the airport. Is this why you didn't drive and flew in here in your helicopter? Well, that was a little out of line. Well, by the time we finished, I said, what if we have an engineering estimate and we tell you what it is and you give us a percentage of this? Do you remember any of this, Bill? And I said, you're only going to be there 2 more weeks. We can't start all over with another NDOT director. So they gave us 70% of it, which the guys never did figure out and did take credit for it, Jack and Ed. Well, when the project came in and was so underbid, we figured, and we didn't talk about it, but NDOT knew, they had more than paid for 100% of our project because the engineering estimate was higher than the bid. That was a good day, but again, neither one of them mentioned this to me again. Now, we could go into childhood stories, but they're not as fun, except when I was getting my lecture again and getting verses read to me out of the Bible, which he kept in his upper left-hand drawer. And when I said inappropriate language for not only a woman, but for anyone, I was read Bible verses. Marilyn knows this, the girls, Mark, I don't know if you know that, Mark. No, certainly not. Anyway, I was read quite a few of those verses. So one noon I went in and sticky note my Bible where his pages were on his, and he got just wicked, as he could do, and I read to him. Now, no one has to read to him today because he didn't get that bridge he wanted, but how more wonderful a dedication to the man we all loved than the city-county building named the Edwin J. Russo Center. Thank you.
I didn't know there were that many people here. Thank you all for coming. And I especially want to thank the commissioners for all of their fun remarks and serious remarks and just helped us in a way know more about Ed. It's hard to put into words what it means to our family for Ed to be honored in having this building named after him. And we do thank the commissioners, Linda and Nelson and Therese and the mayor. Thank you. The Russo family has been part of Allen County since 1854. When they migrated from North Carolina. They left because they were opposed to slavery. After attending IU and serving in the Army for 2 years, Ed joined his father in the family business, which was Russo Brothers DeSoto Plymouth dealership. And just shortly after that, Chrysler Corporation quit making DeSotos, so Ed had to find a new kind of job. And he chose real estate. The Russo family has been interested and involved in a number of different businesses, including real estate and the medical field. And Ed's dad was always very interested in current events, and especially in Allen County. As Linda said, Ed ran for office for the first time in the early 60s, and he won. So that was an encouragement to him. He devoted the next 40 years to public service. Ed was a man of strong opinion, but he could easily continue his friendships, even if he disagreed with them. If he disagreed with his friends or his opponents or family members. So even though he had strong opinions, he was still on a friendly basis no matter what. And we all appreciated that. Ed once said in an interview that what he liked most about himself was his loyalty. He always wanted to stand on the side of what was best for the community, even when he was running for office and disagreed with his opponents. He would be extremely honored and humbled to be recognized by this wonderful tribute to his dedication to political service. Ed was a man of his word, a man of integrity, and a man who was devoted to his family and to the citizens of Allen County. And we all thank you so much for this wonderful dedication.
Okay, is everybody ready? On three. One, two, three.
Well, everybody has to get around in this community one way or another, and if you have a vehicle, that's pretty easy. But if you don't have access to a vehicle, you may not be aware of all the transportation resources that are available in the Fort Wayne and Allen County area. Well, the Northeast Indiana Regional Coordinating Council, or NERC, has put together a transportation resource guide that's available to everyone in our community. Matt Vondran is with NERC, and he's joining us today to talk a little bit about how this guide is put together, what it contains, and also how you can get a copy of it and have access to it. First of all, Matt, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you giving us the opportunity to discuss the resource guide.
Now, this is not a new concept. This guide has been in existence in some form or fashion for quite a while now.
Correct. NERC has been producing the guide since the mid-1990s, and we update it every 2 to 3 years. And it's actually evolved quite a bit throughout the years to what you see now. And pretty much the guide itself just provides a brief description of the services available throughout the community that covers both the public, not-for-profit, and private transportation resources that are available throughout Allen County.
Yeah, when this started, you only had maybe 2 or 3 providers, and now,
Yes.
like you say, it's evolved out. You have quite a number.
Yes, and because everyone's needs are different, so there's different types of transportation that's available out there that is actually more suited towards certain individuals. So it's actually grown throughout the years.
And tell us a little bit about how you get this information and who within NERC helps put this together.
Well, NERC's been discussing transit issues since the 1970s, and we have several committees with underneath NERC that discuss transit issues, and we work with those committees and the providers and some of the agencies that are served by those providers to get the information we need for this guide. And pretty much we just gather information from each of the major providers not necessarily the major providers, but the providers that we know of. This is not all-inclusive, and it's not an endorsement of anyone. We just want to make sure that we get all the information out there so that individuals have the information they need to utilize the resources that they need.
Obviously, it's to the provider's benefit to participate in.
Yes, and pretty much we try to provide a brief description of the services, including eligibility of the service area, the cost, general hours of operation, and then contact info. And the guide itself is actually pretty detailed, but most individuals should give the provider a call to get the specific details, because it could vary what is actually available to them.
Now, this is the brochure that you're printing, the trifold. You also have a larger, and I'll try to hold this up, a larger poster version. That tell us how you're getting these out to the public.
Well, the guide itself, both the brochure version and the poster version, are available at NERC, at our website, www.nerc.com. And pretty much we've provided the brochure version, which people can download, and it should be printed on legal paper or 8.5 by 14. And then the poster version is where area agencies like government agencies, libraries, hospitals, doctors' offices, different things like that, they can print out that poster version, which is the tabloid size or the 11 by 17, and put that on their walls at their facilities. And that way individuals can, it actually has a link where you can look at the bottom so you know where to find the brochure and download the brochure, but it's just a useful resource to have throughout the community.
And in previous years, you've printed a lot of these out and distributed them out as you could within the community.
Yes.
But now with new technology that's available out there with the internet and whatnot, you're going to be able to get these out more quickly and also in a more updated fashion.
Correct. In the past, we used to print like 1,000 copies and just distribute them to anyone we could think of. But then once they were gone, it would be about 2 years before we do the next update. So with this version, it's always out there. Individuals have access to it, so they can produce as many as they want each time and put at their agencies or government facilities or wherever they want to provide them at. And at the same time, the general public themselves can go directly to the website and download it. The poster, we just started doing that with the last update, 2 years ago when we did that. And that's actually worked out pretty good because a lot of doctors' offices and even like the libraries and government agencies here in this building, they actually would run out of the guide. So it's nice having the poster there because then the individuals have the resource or the phone numbers, and they can actually either just write down the phone number to the provider that they need to contact, or they can actually go to our website and find the guide.
Now, these are in English right now. What about making them available for other members of the community who do not speak English?
Now that we have finalized the English version, we are actually working on, we have the text ready to go, and we're going to get that translated to Spanish. So there will be a Spanish version of the brochure and the poster. And then we are also going to work on getting a Burmese version, or getting the text translated into Burmese. And we'll make sure that's available on both our website and most likely on CityLink's website.
And you're also looking at making it easier to grab the information for smartphones and camera phones by using QR codes.
Correct. That's something new to me. So we have our technology guys working on that right now. So hopefully the plan is to, within the next week or so, on the poster version, which is on our website, is to have the QR code so that if you're walking through Citizen Square here and you see the poster, you can walk up with your smartphone and scan it, and it'll take you right to the guide.
And the nice part about that also is that you don't have to stand there for 5 minutes trying to read the whole thing and memorize it, because once you use that QR code, it stays within your smartphone, and you've basically got a copy of it that you carry around with you all the time.
Correct. And this was something that here at NERC we've never utilized before, but now with some of our other products that we produce and stuff, we're like, this could be pretty handy. So we're going to take advantage of it with the resource guide, and hopefully it's a valuable tool.
And you mentioned it has a lot of information about both public providers, private providers, nonprofits as well. So you can pick and choose what's going to work best for you as an individual.
Correct. Pretty much the public providers are CityLink Bus, CityLink Access Service, which is their paired transit service, and then CityLink's Campus Link service, which serves the IPFW Ivy Tech area, and then also CountyLink Rural Public Transit, which is operated by Allen County Council on Aging, and that serves pretty much Allen County as long as the trip either originates or well, the origin or destination has to be within the county. And then the non-for-profit providers, that's the Allen County Council on Aging. They provide senior transportation. The Community Transportation Network, or CTN, that you see on all the vans throughout town, and then St. Vincent de Paul Caravan. And then the private providers are Access United Transportation, Companion Transportation, Gibson Mobility, Kids Cab, and the out-of-town bus and shuttle service providers, and then the local taxi services.
So this isn't just a good thing for folks who live here. If somebody's coming in from out of town and they're not familiar with the taxi services available, that's going to be right there for them?
Correct. Yes. Hopefully we can have these posted in locations, and that's where we're really happy that you're letting us do this, because we want to make sure we get the word out, because this doesn't just go towards the human service agencies or the local governments or just the libraries. Anybody can post this at their local business or anywhere throughout the community, because it actually serves a much larger population than what you would think. It's not just transit dependent.
Well, Matt, thanks so much for being with us, talking to us about this. Look forward to finding out if it gets used a lot. Hopefully it will.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. And if anyone has any questions or needs copies of the guide, because we've ran into that, because we do realize that not everyone has internet access. When we first put out the press release, we had a few senior individuals give me a call and ask me to send them copies, and we can do that. And you can contact me at matt.vondran@co.allen.in.us or at 260-449-7903.
And again, though, if you do have internet access, you can go to www.nerc.com.
Correct.
And you can download and print copies of the brochure or the poster for use in your particular business or for you as an individual. Again, Matt, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the time.
Over the past couple of years here on Countyline, we've had the opportunity to tell you about the establishment of the Kelly House, a 48-bed facility which helps in the treatment and recovery of men who are overcoming addiction and mental illness. Well, now the Kelly House has expanded into kind of an entrepreneurial role, and it gives you the opportunity to help them out in their mission. And with us today is Stan Pfluger. Stan's with the Allen County Corrections Commission, which oversees the operation of the Kelly House. Stan, it's good to see you again.
You too, Mike. Thanks.
For folks who maybe haven't seen our previous programs, explain a little more in depth about what Kelly House is and how it operates.
Sure. You mentioned it's a 48-bed residential facility, and we accept men who have a serious mental illness and a substance abuse addiction. And they come here for a 7-month residential program, and then after that they progress into what we call the aftercare phase of the program, where they live at home or out in the community, but they still come back and report and work in the enterprises and come back for treatment sessions as well.
And should mention that the Kelly House is named for Jim Kelly, figure in this community who aided and helped out with this kind of situation.
Yeah, Jim was one of the original founders of the Washington House, which is what this building was before it was given to the commissioners for us to use for the Kelly House. And the Kelly family has continued to be great supporters of what we do here.
Now, it was 2010 when it started. It's been a couple of years now. Kind of give us an assessment of how things have progressed.
Very well. We have about 23 or 25 residents, so we're about half at capacity. Several of the men have already graduated through the residential portion and are in the aftercare. And so the enterprise has kind of developed as a way to address the grant funding that initially funded the renovations and the operations. That's going to go away in about a year, and so we kind of devised this as an opportunity to have some funding to replace that.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some of the items that the residents here put together, and that you are now selling to folks. Let's talk a little bit about a few of the items here. Some of the clocks, for example, that you have.
Okay, so these are our medium clocks, and they come in a light, medium, and dark finish. We can either make them out of red oak or cedar, and the cost of the clocks is $15.
And I'm going to move out of the way, and we have an herb box.
Yeah, this is a new item that we've added this year, especially for a Mother's Day gift. That's kind of why we're promoting them right now. It's made out of red cedar, and you can either get it loaded with all of the herb seeds, the dirt, the gloves, the gardening implements, and the pots, and with an engraved front, or there's just a plain model that you can get loaded with no etching on the front, or you can just get the plain box without any of the items in it. And the price ranges $20 for just the plain empty box, up to $40 for the loaded one that's etched.
Okay. And birdhouse, and it's a specific birdhouse.
Yeah, it's a birdhouse built for bluebirds, and the reason that we chose this model is because bluebirds are one of the birds in North America that are becoming extinct. And so kind of with our idea of restoration works, the name of our enterprise, I should have mentioned, is the Restoration Works, and it kind of has a double meaning that we do restoration of wood products, but also restoration of lives here at the Kelly House. And so we want to send the message out that yes, restoration does work. And so the Bluebird House really kind of fit into that, because the idea is to help people restore the bluebirds back to our environment.
You even have cornhole games that you make to help out with that.
Yeah, this is a new item that we just ventured into. These are regulation standard cornhole games. You can get them plain without being painted, or painted like this. And the price I think is $75 for the plain and $90 for the painted. And that comes with the 8 bean bags that come with it, and instructions on how to set it up. And the same with the birdhouse. We have instructions on how to place it, because there are very specific ways that needs to be placed in order to attract bluebirds.
And as you mentioned, obviously a way to help bring some funds and some money into the program, but it also is valuable in terms of the recovery of these individuals.
Exactly. It allows the men, first of all, to just engage in some therapeutic activity, which woodworking can, and the gardens out there. All of those activities are designed to be kind of just therapeutic ways for them to pass some of the time. But the other part about it is that it teaches them skills that they will be able to use when they move out and get a job. And so we're really excited. About a week ago, we launched our online store. So people can go to allencountycorrections.com, and then up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a spot that says storefront. And you click on that, and that'll take you to a storefront where you can order any of the items that we've shown you here. The large items like the workbench and the picnic table are not available for delivery. So, just because of the size and the weight. But the others, they can either arrange to pick up, or we're getting all the logistics worked out to be able to do some delivery later, but we'll be venturing into that as well. So that'll teach them, shipping and organization and customer service skills, and in addition to, just the woodworking skills that they learn here in the shop.
So you have a sign up on the shop that says "Enterprise, let your imagination grow." So are you thinking of expanding the line of products that you make here at some point?
Yeah, we're still kind of looking for that signature item that says the Kelly House, and so we're asking the guys to think about things, and they've done some modifications to the original designs of the picnic table and the workbench and stuff. So it's really a creative process for them too.
That's a good point you bring up. They're not just involved in the putting together of these items, they're also involved in coming up with creating ideas and ways to market this and different products to make. They're more involved in the creative side along with the building side.
Exactly. This is a collaborative venture between the staff and the guys here at the house. And so they constantly are bringing things, suggestions forward, and we're having discussions about, is this something that will appeal to people? How will it fit into our mission of restoration and all of those things? So.
Okay. Well, it's a great concept, Stan, and we wish you the best with it. Again, for folks who maybe didn't catch it the first time, where can they go to find this?
So there are two things tomorrow, which is April the 27th, and I think this will probably air after with that, but we have a market day on Friday from 10 to 4, and we have an application with the Board of Zoning Appeals to allow us to let us do that on a regular basis. So hopefully there will be more Fridays where we'll have this available. And the thing I would say is just watch for the signs. We'll put signs up out in the area. And on our website, once we get the approval, if it's granted, we'll put dates up on the website when they go to the storefront, which is at allencountycorrections.com. And then in the upper right-hand corner is an option for the storefront, and you click on that. We're also on Facebook. So they can look for the Kelly House Enterprises on Facebook and see what we have available there too.
And where will the market take place? Will it be here at the house?
Yeah, it'll be right out in the front yard, plenty of parking, and we're hoping that the weather's going to cooperate as well.
Well, Stan, thanks a lot for your time. We appreciate it. Again, we look forward to hearing more about the growth of this program and the growth of the enterprise that you've got going. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mike, for your support.
And that's all the time we have for this edition of County Line. A reminder that this episode, as well as previous County Line programs, can be found on our YouTube channel, as well as our video on demand service. And you can find either of those by going to our county website, www.allencounty.us. I'm Mike Green, Public Information Officer in the Allen County Commissioner's Office, and we'll see you next time on County Line.